Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Let's Tap. I'm Suzanne Gundersen. I'm a holistic stress relief mentor, and I help people to relieve anxiety, chronic stress, and build confidence. That way, they can go out in the world and improve their relationships, their health, their mental health, their emotional health, their physical health, be able to maneuver important life transitions with more ease, all using an incredible technique called energy tapping. And energy tapping is a self-use acupressure technique where you literally use your fingertips to engage the body's energy system. And when you do that, you can reprogram your stress, revitalize your energy, and reclaim your power. So tonight's show of Let's Tap is going to be focused on gaining clarity through confusion and overwhelm. So if you're somebody who is confused right now, who needs some clarity, feels overwhelmed, then this show is for you tonight. First, we're going to go over what the tapping basics are, and then we're going to get into doing some live tapping on how to be able to get that clarity that you're all wanting to be able to sort through the muddiness, the confusion, and the overwhelm to get you straight to knowing exactly what the next step is for you. Tapping is a technique that helps us to be able to connect with our intuition, with our inner senses, which is truly our strongest authority. So I want to say hi to some of the folks that have joined. I see Amber's here. Hi, Amber. And Demian's here. And I think I saw Kathy also. Hi, Kathy. And Melanie's here. Thank you all so much for being here. So, yeah, so Kathy asks, what's the best way to approach, her 22-year-old son? Hey, monkey see, monkey do, mama. So if you start tapping and you get the results, and you feel comfortable to tap around him, he'll wonder what that's about. And he'll either be drawn to it and be intrigued more, or he'll bounce off and find something else. Because tapping is an amazing stress relief technique. And if you resonate with it, amazing, use it. If not, find something else, because life is overstimulating and overwhelming to us, and we need something to be able to have in our stress relief toolbox for life. So if you show him how you use it, he'll follow along, or maybe he'll be inspired to go find something else. Hey, Crystal and Miriam's here. Thank you all so much for joining tonight. So I'm Suzanne Gundersen. We're here to tap. This show is called Let's Tap, where I'm going to share with you about this amazing stress relief technique called energy tapping. Now, it's known as a couple of different things out there in the world of meridian tapping. It can be, you may have heard of it as EFT, emotional freedom technique. You may know it as faster EFT. You may know it as Be Set Free Fast. You may know it as the tapping solution. There's a lot of names out there for it. I simply just cut right to it and say it's energy tapping. Because what we're doing is we are engaging energy rivers in our body called meridians. And those meridians run through the organs of the body, which then produce the sensations that we experience, and then we label as everything from happy to sad. So I'm going to go over with you the tapping points that we're going to use tonight, because our topic tonight is to help us to gain clarity through confusion and overwhelm. So the tapping points we're going to use, if you just take your two fingers, either hand, doesn't matter for tonight's exercise, and just start tapping, get a nice healthy bounce between your eyebrows. If you grew your eyebrows together right here, just start getting a nice bounce right there. And you want to do it with enough pressure that you can feel it, not light enough where you're just too soft, and certainly you don't want to bruise yourself, but get a nice bounce going there. And then the second point we use is right here on the side of the eye. So just take two fingers and tap right there. And then on the top of your cheekbone right here, this is the under eye point. And then you're going to take all four fingers and get a nice bounce across both your collarbones. We're just practicing the tapping points right now. And then you're going to take one hand and squeeze the opposite wrist. Now, if you've done tapping before, you might say, hey, Suzanne, you missed a couple of points. Well, there are hundreds of energy points all over the body, and they're all interconnected. So even if you just tapped on one point, it would still engage the body's energy system. But for the purposes of tonight's exercise and tonight's show, and for my approach for using energy tapping, keep it simple. Between your eyes, side of the eye, under the eye, on your collarbones, grab your wrist. If you want to do your own points that you know about, you're welcome to. They're all valid, but I like to use this shortcut version. All right, Kathy said she's willing to give it a try. Fantastic. So, our topic tonight is to be able to gain clarity through confusion and overwhelm. So how we actually use energy tapping is we go to what we are aware of that we don't want. And that is tonight's topic is where are we needing some clarity? Where are we confused? Where are we feeling overwhelmed? Where are we just not getting the answers that we need? Where is there just too much stimulation going on, keeping you out of focus? What storylines might be, coming up as I mention these words to you right now? Where are you struggling in overwhelm? Where are you struggling and needing some clarity? Just notice what might be coming up right now in terms of thoughts, stories, memories, experiences. You see, we have an emotional response to life that keeps us connected to our subconscious body. And I say subconscious body because we really are a program of belief system based on our biggest emotional imprint that we have. And so when you think about these stories of confusion and overwhelm, you might be having an emotional type of response to them right now. That's how you stay connected to it. But if it is creating clutter, confusion, overwhelm, then tapping is the technique that we're going to use tonight to be able to start clearing some of that energy, to be able to open those pathways, to be able to give you that clarity and confidence that you're looking for. So I invite you all right now to think about something that's overwhelming you, that's got you confused, and just notice what's coming up in terms of stories, thoughts, memories, any of the records in your mind. And then notice how your body reacts to that. Do you have any tightness, tension? Are there different body temperature changes? What do you notice about in your body? Get into all of that. That's step number one of tapping, is to notice what bothers you and how it bothers you. So tonight's topic, notice the confusion, notice the overwhelm. Step number two of tapping is to give it an intensity number. On a scale of 0 to 10, if 0 means it doesn't really bother you, and 10 is it really bothers you, what number would you give the intensity of this overwhelm, of this confusion right now? And just give it a number. And then step number 3 of tapping is to go directly to the worst part, the part where you're like, I just can't figure it out. I really need an answer. Whatever is the part that stands out the most, that's behind this confusion. You just keep looping in that one thought process and you can't figure it out. Go to that worst part. And then step number 4 of tapping is we're going to tap. So if you remember the tapping points, if you saw us earlier, if not, just follow along. So we're going to do is take your 2 fingers, start tapping between your eyes, and repeat out loud after me. And say all this confusion, so much to be confused about, so many thoughts, which to choose, seems so fuzzy, overwhelming. I wish I was clear, but right now it's just really confusing. And then tap on the side of the eye, all this confusion, everything that's contributing to this confusion, the thoughts, the beliefs, the stories, the records, all the meaning I've given it, and the intensity of that meaning. This confusion in my body as a program has an expression, the sensations, the feelings, every emotional aspect of this confusion, this overwhelm, And then tap on your collarbone. I just want an answer. I really need some clarity right now. So many things are confusing me. This pattern of confusion. Right now, I'm willing to let it go. I'm willing to get present and let this confusion go. And then tap between your eyes again. All the reasons for my overwhelm. What's contributing to my being overwhelmed? Who's contributing to it? The pressure of it, the stress of it, all the intensity of it. I'm willing right now to calm it down, settle it down, relax it in this moment, and tap on the side of the eye. All the stories behind this, creating this confusion. I just let them all go. Let all those thoughts go. Let those stories go. I can't see clearly when I'm seeing things so fuzzy. So I let it go. Whatever I'm seeing, hearing, feeling that's behind this confusion, I'm willing right now to let it go. This pattern of confusion, I'm willing to organize it, get it structured, bring it some clarity through peace, through compassion. It all works out when you let it go. And then tap on your collarbone. I'm letting go of this confusion right now. All my power is in the present moment. So I let go of all the confusion, all the stories behind it, all the momentum of it, my experience of it. I settle it all down now, willing to become present right now. And then take your hand and squeeze the opposite wrist a couple times and take a nice easy breath. Blow it out. Say the word clear. Now I want you to go to something in your mind that makes you feel super crystal clear. Something that you know for sure. Maybe you know where your keys are. Maybe you know exactly where to find your shoes. Maybe you know what it is to look at crystal clear water. Maybe it is that you have a lot of clarity about something in your life. So I just invite you to find something in your mind as a reference point of what is clear to you. Maybe clear water is the easiest thing to think of right now. Just see how crystal clear it is. You can see your feet under the water. Or whatever it is that you find. Land on the experience of clarity and clearness inside of you. And make it as strong as you possibly can. Focus on the best part of it, the part that makes you feel crystal clear. The part that you're aware of clarity. And when you're there, tap between your eyes and say, I'm so clear right here. It's so easy to be clear. I have the answer right here on how to get clear. I have the pathway in my body to have clarity. I already know how to do it. I'm already doing it. This clear pathway. I create it. It's all mine. This clarity. I can have it anytime I want. It's a pattern inside of me. And I'm willing to leverage it for those parts of me that were confused, that need this clarity. Bringing this sensation of clarity, this knowing of clarity, this belief about clarity to wherever I might need it in my life. This wonderful clarity, it's all mine. I can have it anytime I want. And then take your one hand and squeeze the opposite wrist a couple times. Take a nice easy breath. Blow it out. Say the word peace. Then go back to the thing that you were confused about before. And tell me, pop it in the chat and let me know, what number of intensity were you at when we started and where are you at now? And with tapping, when you're getting some shifts in your energy, you might experience it as a light tingly sensation. You might have taken a spontaneous breath or yawned, or maybe you just feel it as an overall sense of peace and calm. And those are all great signs to know that your energy body is shifting from one state to another. And so the state that we started out in is confusion and overwhelm. So hopefully now you've got more of an experience of calm going on. See, all of our power is in the now, and we've heard this before. When we are worried about the future or thinking about thoughts about the past, we are not able to be present. So tapping gives us this amazing opportunity to become present in our mind body. That way we're not being, whipped around in our old stories and programs. Because truly, we are an immensely valuable human being in spirit here. And we often get tangled up in the drama of living in the 3D. And it can be dramatic. And it's who we think we are sometimes. And that's what can get really confusing. And so when we calm everything down, when we settle the thoughts, when we clear the thoughts, when we reset the body back to baseline, back to a place of peace and calm, that's when we can start to be impulsed as to what is the next logical step that's going to get me to where it is that I need to go, that I want to go to. That's the whole part about connecting with your intuition and your inner senses to guide you. Our inner senses and our gut is really our biggest authority, but we have allowed the mind to clutter the pathway of connection with our internal senses, and tapping can give us that peace to be able to get into the body, feel into those impulses and urges, and then take inspired action against them. So Abby shared that she was at a 10, and hey, welcome Lynn Marie, thanks for being here. Abby shared that she was at a 10 and now she's at a 5, and that's amazing, Abby, that's awesome. And that was just in a few minutes. Imagine if you really, really, really worked on this, where you could get to in terms of the type of clarity that you're wanting in your life. Miriam said that she was at an 8 and now she's at a 6. That's brilliant. Cindy said that she was at 10 and now a 1, and she's buzzing from her fingertips to her elbows. That's brilliant. I love that. Especially when we've been so burdened down with confusion, heaviness, whatever the storyline is. It's an experience of the body. The body doesn't speak English. We speak English, or we speak whatever language we speak. But the body speaks in terms of momentum, stories and records that we have within our nervous system, within our cells and our DNA. It's who we think we are as an expression of a human being in the world. And when we start to tap, we're literally clearing that energy from us. That way we can get back into true alignment with who we are. And that's going to be experienced for each person differently. So the tingling sensation is amazing. The buzzing is amazing. It just truly is a lifting of that heaviness. So Kim said she was a 5 and now she's a 0. That's awesome. Cindy says, thank you. Amber said she was a 10 and now a 4. Definitely yawning and so relaxed. That's amazing, Amber. That's great. Carla said she was a 10 and now she's a 3. And awesome. So let's see. Kimberly said she was a 10 and now a 5. These are all amazing shifts, ladies, and this is within a few minutes. And this is very generalized tapping that we're doing here. Imagine if you were really working on specifically your story and the details of your story, because that's the key to making tapping work. If you've tried tapping before, or you've heard people say, no, I tried it, didn't really work for me, it's because you're not getting specific enough. And that's why in the beginning of this show, I was sharing with you, get into and notice all the details that support your confusion, your overwhelm. It is in all of that detail that you get close to the root of it. And that when you're there, you're holding the magic keys to unlock yourself from that stress and struggle of that confusion and that overwhelm that's specific to you. So we're doing some generalized tapping here, but the true key to make tapping work is to get specific and then be willing and persistent. Because there are some things that have a lot of momentum behind them. You know, if you're flying in an airplane and it's going 600 miles an hour about something, it might take you a little bit of a wide turn to turn around. As opposed to you're driving 25 miles an hour, you can take maybe a slow turn and turn around. So if there are things that continue to persist with confusion, confusion or overwhelm, that's just our topic for tonight. It's because there's more momentum behind it. There's more intensity in how you experience it. Maybe you've been practicing and always have had this problem your whole life. And so you're like literally slowing down the 600 mile an hour airplane as opposed to just taking a simple turn at 25 miles an hour. So tapping really asks you to be specific and be willing and persistent to keep up with it, because the shifts can happen. We're seeing them here with just some general tapping. So Miriam asks, can you tap and not say anything and still receive benefits, or does an intention have to be attached to it? So great question. You don't need to say anything when you're tapping, because truly your body is speaking a vibration, and your nervous system is responding to a trigger, and that trigger didn't come to you in the form of any type of language. So just notice how your body and your mind are reacting in terms of the storylines and the sensations and the feelings that you're feeling in your body, and tap. And you know, if you want to say anything, you can just say, let it go, let it go. Your job is to focus and aim at that specific reference. So yes, you need to have an intention, because when you get too general with tapping, it's really like you're throwing darts at the wall and there's not anything really you're getting specific about. So you want to get specific with a specific intention and then aim there. But in order to tap, you don't need to say anything. So people often ask me, what do I say? What do I say? Don't worry about that. Let it go is enough. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Or say nothing. Carla says she's doing lots of yawning. That's amazing. Abby said she's literally had stress her whole life and anxiety and overwhelming. Yeah, awesome. So I wanted to share with you a couple things. One is that I have a women's only Facebook tapping group called the Empowered Tapping Revolution. You're all invited to join. The link is in the description box of this video here. And I do lots of more live tapping like this on a variety of different topics. I specifically help women to be able to relieve anxiety, relieve chronic stress, and be able to build confidence through, uncovering the intuitive truth about their stress, which is really truly just a misunderstanding of programming that has structured our belief system, that's got us walking through life as a subconscious program, which tapping helps us to access, transform, and reclaim our power and revitalize our energy. That way we can walk, consciously, with direction and purpose and clarity and perspective that owns our immense value as our biggest authority with, accessing our inner senses. Kim says, great information. I'm so glad you think so. So I invite you all to join the group. And if anybody has any questions now about tapping, feel free to pop them in the chat window and answer any other questions that you have. And I'm not sure, I'm gonna look back to see if I missed any questions too. Abby asks if I do readings. I do 30-minute mini personalized tapping sessions. The link is also in the description box of this video. So if this was something that's intrigued you, or you want a little bit more a deeper connection with, feel free to get on my calendar. It's free, it's 30 minutes. We'll get on video chat together, and you're welcome to have the, a live tapping experience with me to really kickstart whatever it is that you've got, from a stress or struggle to where it is that you want to go. So feel free to take advantage of that. The link is in the description box for how to get on my calendar for 30 minutes and have a personal experience for yourself. Just reading some more comments here. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I did miss something, feel free to put it back in the chat again. I'm happy to answer it for you. don't think I had anything else. Okay. So tapping has been around about 50 years, and it really has evolved, and it continues to evolve as we learn more about our bodies and our minds and our subconscious programming. We're learning how to access those parts of us that really have been rooted in unconsciousness and dysfunction and wounds, and tapping gives us the a pathway in, a safe pathway in to be able to uncover what has been at the basis of our stress and struggle. So it's evolved over the last 50 years, and I'm sure it's going to continue to evolve as we raise in our own consciousness and awareness of our lives and our thoughts and how our bodies are programmed. And so if you're really stressing and struggling, whether it's with anxiety, overwhelm, chronic stress, whether it is an autoimmune issue that you're having, an emotional issue that you're having, tapping can help you to be able to safely uncover the intuitive truth behind that stress. That way you can work toward transforming it. And how you do that is you go to the memories, you go to the records that you are consciously aware of that support the program. Now you may have some that are subconscious that you're not aware of, but we start with the ones that you are aware of. And it's amazing how it will start to guide you inward, uncovering more of what's behind it and what those stories are and what those beliefs are. That way you can start to broaden the perspective of them, because tapping helps get out of that tornado of stress, out of that overwhelm, confusion, overthinking, anxiety, which is all just a big tornado. And tornadoes are wild, fast, and out of control. And when you start to tap, it'll calm all of that down to be able to give you the peace, the calm, the clarity, the perspective, for you then to have choice in how you want to have purpose and engage with your life experience. We often just wake up and we're just living in an overstimulated world where we are living in overwhelm. Our poor little nervous systems are just in fight or flight way too much. And tapping is this beautiful tool that helps us to calm it all down, to be able to get to a place of transforming. I have a business and it's called Transform Connections, because I believe all of our connections are with ourselves. We're only ever talking to ourselves based on our own internal references. And so transforming that connection with yourself is going to help you to be able to live with authentic expression in the world, confidently, trusting yourself, knowing what boundaries to have with yourself and with other people. And it's a learning process because we've been so conditioned and brainwashed to believe one way for so long, but I think we're all waking up to the only thing that's reliable and consistent in our life is going to be us. And building a rapport with our body and our inner senses and our mind as an integrated mind-body experience is the journey that I think we're all taking right now. Some people further ahead than others, but it's the journey that we're all on right now. Just want to say hi to a couple people. Carla says, can we use the same spots to tap on anything? Absolutely. So whatever your stress and struggle is, step number 1 of tapping is to notice what bothers you and how it bothers you. So go to that specific. Step number 2 is give it an intensity number. Step number 3 is focus on the part that stands out the most, the part that really, really, really bothers you. And step number 4 is to tap. So we tap between the eyes, side of the eye, under the eye, on your collarbone, and you grab your wrist. And those are the only ones that you need to worry about or be concerned about. But yeah, you can tap on those same spots for any stress and struggle. I want to say hi to Bethany Wolf and Katrina Dean. Thanks for joining. Abby said she's already got on my calendar for tomorrow at 5. Awesome. So if you're joining in, this is Let's Tap. It's a weekly show to learn and experience energy tapping, which is an amazing stress relief tool that can help you to be able to revitalize your energy, reclaim your power through transforming these subconscious programs that have led you to have stress and struggle in your life. I have a free Facebook group called the Empowered Tapping Revolution. I invite any woman on this to join me over in the Empowered Tapping Revolution. I do live video like this all the time, and it's a wonderful group of women. We're building inner wisdom and resiliency for life stresses using tapping. Also, if this was powerful for you tonight and it was a value for you, feel free to put 30 minutes on my calendar and we can have a personalized tapping experience for you. And the link is also in the description box of this video. So I want to thank everybody for joining and listening to me tonight. I am in deep gratitude and appreciation for all of your participation, all your questions, comments, feedback. I'm so happy I was able to provide you some relief for some of your confusion and overwhelm. And remember, this show is every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I think the replay is on Tuesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. And so I look forward to seeing you next week. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to message me, and send me a friend request on Facebook. And I really want to be able to empower you all with this amazing stress relief technique. So until then, I'll see you next time.